Hey everybody, welcome back to What's Cooking Good Looking, our live, healthy, happy hour cooking class on Wednesday nights that we've been doing this summer here in the Rasayana community. I'm happy to have you guys join us and take an interest in some of the daily foods that we use and have available to us as medicine. And that's my goal, is to get you more familiar, more comfortable with being in your kitchen and using seasonal ingredients from an Ayurvedic standpoint and mitigating symptoms that you might be having and allergies or inflammation in the body, and really maximizing your capacity to digest and to have a robust immune system. So what we're working with today is a great bile mover in the body, and those are beets. And beets are awesome for the blood. They really clean the blood, they cool the blood, which makes them particularly good for the summer months, or if you live in a part of the world where there are summer climates, like a tropical region, for example. And so when we have excess heat in the body that accumulates over these kinds of climates and conditions and seasons, it can tip over into a pathological state where we start to experience some outbreaks in our skin, perhaps some inflammation in the body, some heat, short-temperedness, excessive competitiveness, excessive criticism. All of these things are indications of a little bit of excess fire that's been accumulating in the body. And so beets and a lot of other foods that have that red pigmentation, like pomegranates and cherries, particularly things that stain red, are great bile movers in the body. And so beets are particularly good because of their ability to clean and cool the blood, to move stagnant, thick bile sludge in the body. That's what makes them so unique and therapeutic in supporting the liver and the gallbladder in particular. And liver and gallbladder dysfunction is on the rise with our processed foods, with our overscheduled lifestyles, with our overstimulated culture on the daily. Literally, we've just got too much stimulating, heating energy. So beets being peak season in the summer, sweet in taste, cooling once they've been digested, are your superfoods. And it wasn't until the Greeks and Egyptians actually in about 23 AD actually recognized the roots at all for having any therapeutic value or taste. It was only the greens that were used up until that point, which you can use. If you bought beets with the stems on them today, you can trim those stems, wash them, store them in the fridge in a Ziploc bag for 10 days or up to 10 days, and have them as their own greens. Saute them with a little bit of olive oil and garlic. It's really nice as well. We're also going to be working with fennel bulb, which is also cooling. It is a wonderful diuretic. It is an antispasmodic. It is used for abdominal pain and indigestion and colic. So fennel bulb has long been known both in the East and the West for its therapeutic value. We've used fennel in one of our other weeks. One of our other nights, we had maple roasted fennel with some cinnamon. Remember that, Jenna? That came out pretty tasty.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah, it's like the only way I can get this down, because I don't like the licorice taste personally, And so even though this is mild, this is not like that taste you get having a licorice candy. Having the maple glaze over it that we did last time, it's my way of eating it. But this is going to be a new experience for me, having it raw and shaved really thin along with the beets and into a salad. And that's how you can eat them. You want to buy them with the fronds still attached. You'll trim those, trim a good 1/2 inch off the bottom, give it a good scrub in between these outer layers. You can get some dirt and such in there. And then if you have a mandolin, use it carefully and get some thin shaving in there. We only need 1/2 cup, I believe, for a recipe in the salad. But that's why I bought a really small bulb today. And I'm sure whatever I don't use, I'll toss in some other salad or something. But yeah, so fennel, more cooling along with the beets, right? Nature gives us naturally, seasonally, the things that we need to populate the microbiome in our gut the way that is optimal, you know? So I'm gonna check on my beets because my Instapot pressure is finally depressurized. So I should be able to open it, see if they're tender and pull that out. In the meantime, you can take your one cooked beet, go ahead and skin it, quarter it, and put it into a food processor. And I chose green beans as a complement to tonight's meal because they also are particularly good for the summer months. Unlike the other beans, they don't produce gas. I have some monster beets in here, so they're definitely going to need some additional cooking time. Welcome. Hi, Ada. We're getting started with our beets. I need to continue cooking my beets a little bit more. They're not quite fork tender yet. So I'm going to put them in for 10 minutes in my Instapot, an additional 10 minutes. I did 15 earlier. So what you'll need, Ada, joining us, we're going to be cooking all but one beet that's already cooked that we'll be using for the hummus. Kristen, what are we going to add to the beet in our food processor in this order? So everyone have their beet in the food processor? Give a thumbs up. We're all together.
Hummus.
Good.
Yeah. One medium beet boiled, peeled, 2 cups cooked cannellini beans.
You're going to add 2 cups of cannellini beans. I only had 1 can, and then I had another can of white, like navy beans, or some other white bean is similar in size. So I'm going to mix them both. This is for the hummus. So 2 cups of your beans added to the beet in the food processor.
1/4 cup of tahini.
To that, you'll add 1/4 cup of tahini.
1/4 cup of olive oil.
And 1/4 cup of olive oil. Just want them to catch up. They're measuring out their stuff live. I have an assistant off camera this week. My bestie, Kristen, is visiting from the East Coast, and she has the recipes at hand.
What was before the olive oil?
The tahini, also a 1/4 cup.
Quarter cup. Okay.
Hi, Scott. See, we have lots of sous chefs in the kitchen this week. I have my buddy here. after the olive oil. Anything else? Salt, pepper.
Lemon juice, quarter cup lemon juice. Then salt, then pepper, and then pickled beets.
Yeah, we're going now.
Okay.
Once you get the quarter cup of your tahini and the quarter cup of your olive oil in, you're going to add your lemon juice, quarter cup, and salt and pepper to taste. And then you'll basically process that in your food processor until smooth, adding more lemon juice or tahini, depending on your preferences for thickness.
It recommends that using a blender to begin by pulsing to break up the beans.
So using a food processor for the hummus, you can begin by pulsing to break up the beans before you start running it to a smooth consistency. I love it. I love seeing so many people in their kitchens right now. This is great. I love the apron, Ada. Or is that your shirt? The pattern? Is that your blouse? You're muted. I can't hear you. Don't worry about it. Your hands are dirty. It's okay. Let's see if I can unmute it.
No, I wanted to do this one because beets are really, really healthy for you,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So I
they
was
serve-
trying to, you know, I couldn't do it yesterday. So,
Well, I'm glad you joined us. Did you
yeah,
find
so
tahini?
I couldn't find the tahini. So, but I know what it is,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
Just
they
grab
don't
it.
have it. You have to like, I guess, order it or something online.
It's a pretty, you should be able to find it in like general grocery stores now in the like nut butter section. peanut
I
butter.
did look there, exactly.
You did?
and I found-
Yeah.
Yeah, but I
Oh,
didn't
that's too
find,
bad.
I didn't exactly find that one. So, well, I know what it
Exactly.
is.
In two places in the Whole Foods by me. It's in the international aisle and it's by the peanut butter. It's in like
Oh,
two
interesting.
places.
Yeah, I went by the peanut butter. They didn't have it. They had other stuff though.
Mhm.
And then I said, oh, I see what it is.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then I tried there's a health food place there where they didn't have it there either. I don't know
Yeah.
why they have that section there because they never have anything that I need. But I bet you this other store that I go to would have it, but I didn't go there.
Well, we're going to be pairing our beet hummus today with ideally rye crackers. And we want to pair it with rye or use rye, favoring rye as a grain during the summer months because it is astringent, it's drying. So when we have excess fire element, as we sometimes do in the summer, according to Ayurveda, that can increase the quality of oiliness in the body. That's why we often have skin outbreaks when there's excess heat and fire in the body. And so rye, being very drying in nature, soaks up this extra oil quality that happens. So it's seasonally balancing and a good pairing with hummus. And this hummus is pretty because it's like this bright, robust pink color. So it's fun to bring to parties, different kind of dip going on, right? Yeah, exactly. I love it. I love the little shimmy, Brooke. Bring some dancing into the kitchen. Yeah. Awesome. I have about another 6 or 7 minutes before my beets will be fully cooked, and then I'll join you in the salad prepping.
I wish mine was more pink. But
Oh, wow.
I think the beans, the cannellini beans overpowered the color.
Yep. Yep, maybe. The size of the beets in ratio to the 2 cups of white beans. Yeah. Well, you could put it aside. Momentarily, you'll have more cooked beets and you could just even out the ratio a little bit, spoon some out and add more beet.
I don't know, it's pretty good though. I still might add another beet.
Awesome. Can you taste the beet in it? Yeah, good. I know, neither am I. I feel kind of behind the ball.
Well, mine is fluorescent pink and I love it.
Let's see it. Hold it up to the camera. Yeah, nice.
I love it. And I can't taste the beets, which I also love.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. So you have the right proportion for your taste buds and to feed the eyes, right? It's such a pretty color.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's delicious.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. So easy, right? Should be criminal how easy some of this stuff is. So once you have your hummus set aside, you got your rye crackers, maybe you've plated that nicely and put it aside for now. And then let's start toasting some walnuts. About 2 tablespoons. I toasted mine right on a small tray in my toaster oven for a couple of minutes on a light toast. And then you'll chop those up nice and small. I have whole walnuts. You might have some pieces. If you're allergic, obviously don't use them, but walnuts are great for omega-3 fatty acids, particularly good for that chronic inflammation around the brain and for a lot of neurodegenerative disorders like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's and dementia. You say, really important to get those omega-3s in. We tend to be omega-6 focused here, and omega-6s are great, but we get too many of them in proportion to omega-3s, and it's the omega-3s really that are fundamentally part of brain health. And we're talking about cognitive decline and being able to keep your mental faculties as we get into the 80s, 90s, and become centurions, hopefully, right? Like we want to be around with vitality, with clarity of mind. You don't want to be incapacitated and hanging around. That's no fun, right? Okay, so give me a thumbs up when you guys are ready to move on to the salad. I still see a lot of activity moving around. Any questions for me about any of the ingredients or Ayurveda in general, or pick my brain while you have me? I love beets. I didn't get turned on to them until later in adulthood. And it's a crying shame. It wasn't until later that I got hip to them because I do love them.
As far as the beans go in the hummus, for the cooling properties, does it matter what beans you're using? Because I had cannellinis and then I threw in some black beans because that's what I had.
Yeah, I say the quality of the beans or the kind of therapeutic role of the beans is more their astringency than any cooling quality that they add.
Oh, okay.
Right. So the cooling comes from the beet.
Okay.
And if you so chose, you could kick it up a notch. You could add in some brown coriander or some brown fennel seeds, also both knowing to be cooling to the gut. and with their own digestive 1-2 punch, you could really play around with some of the spices that are known to cool and throw them into the hummus and see how that tastes. This recipe for the hummus we are getting from Kate O'Donnell's second cookbook, Everyday Ayurveda for a Calm, Clear Mind. This is the cookbook that was really focused more on the subtle aspects of mental health and the Mahagunas and Ayurveda, the great qualities used to describe the states of consciousness, Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. And so this dish, all the recipes in her second cookbook are categorized to balance Rajas or Tamas. And particularly for this dish with the beets and their cooling properties, that's going to be very balancing for Rajas, to the overstimulated, agitated, sometimes overheated mind. So hearing my beets go off, so I'm going to drain or depressurize that. Keep a close eye on your toasting walnuts that you don't burn them. So I'm just going to let my beets cool a little bit before I start trying to deskin them and handle them. Don't. Oh, I know what I was going to use. I was going to use a different blade on here. All right. So give me a thumbs up when you're ready. We'll move on to starting the vinaigrette, because the fennel, the shaved fennel pieces are going to soak in the vinaigrette while we finish preparing the salad and toss everything else. Yeah. Cool. I love the dancing brick.
It just comes out.
I love it. I love it. All right. Small bowl. We're going to grate the rind of our orange into that bowl. Using a leftover blood orange that I had from earlier this week. The flavors of orange and beet go really well together. So what are we adding to our grated orange zest?
Quarter cup of the juice, whisk in vinegar, honey, and oil. It is 1 tablespoon of brown rice vinegar. Got it.
Quarter cup of the orange juice
Yeah.
squeezed
Just
into
use it
the
right in
rind.
there, same thing.
Yes, so squeeze a quarter cup of your orange juice in with the rind you have in the bowl. Juice. Dive into another orange here. And after the quarter cup of juice, we're adding what?
A tablespoon of brown rice vinegar.
A tablespoon of your brown rice vinegar or your lemon if you're using that as an alternative.
Next ingredient, half a teaspoon of honey or agave nectar.
Add to that a half a teaspoon of honey or agave nectar, whatever your preferred sweetener is. In the recent years, I've been getting more and more into dressings and chutneys and building my cooking repertoire. They're really where a lot of hidden sugars and additives are in our foods at the grocery store. Don't let the labels fool you guys. I really do want to try to make the condiments at home. Coming out the spoon here. Okay. Anything else?
Yeah, 2 tablespoons extra virgin olive oil.
2 tablespoons of your olive oil go into that vinaigrette. Two teaspoons, you said? Anything else?
Time to slice your fennel.
On the side. assuming we'll whisk it at some point.
Looks like he's at the fennel smith soaking it, right?
Yeah.
Just get now or later, I think. That's not supposed to get done.
Okay, that's it for the dressing. You might whisk that with a fork briefly, and then you're gonna move on to shaving your fennel, getting those slices to sit in that bowl with the vinaigrette.
Chris, so they go in the vinaigrette just to sit?
In your vinaigrette, yeah, to sit and soak while you finish assembling everything else. Cut them really thin, paper thin if you can. Control. I believe it's a half a cup it says on the recipe for fennel.
Cup shaped.
Half a cup shaved fennel. Fennel's loaded with vitamin C, magnesium, iron, folate, phosphate, phosphorus. Yay for fennel. Just gonna stir that fennel around with a fork so I know all of it gets coated. I'm gonna set that aside. I'm gonna start the water for steaming my green beans. That way everything can be timed and warm together. So if you haven't done that, you can pause and start some water for that. Beans will only take 5 minutes to steam, so. You're muted, Ada, I can't hear you.
Okay, that the walnuts, not yet. Am I still muted?
Not yet, no, you're just toasting the walnuts. By now they've probably toasted, you just have them aside. Yeah,
Okay, and then,
everything is pretty much prepped at this point. It'll just be steaming the green beans and assembling your beet salad. So you can start peeling your cooked beets, quartering them, maybe cutting them into 8s. And getting them into a bowl, serving dish. I like this recipe because it's a way to enjoy beets that doesn't involve goat cheese. I mean, I love goat cheese too, but I like a little variety with my recipes. And I feel like you always hear goat cheese and beets being paired together. I didn't always think to pair it with orange. So that was my motivation for picking this recipe today. Now, some people's digestive systems can't tolerate the chemical that creates this bright color in our beets. So it'll pass through the digestive system. And don't be alarmed, you're not bleeding if you see some of that pigmentation in your waste. It's not harmful. It's just that some people don't absorb it in the tract, so it passes through. I'm one of those people. I did not know that when I observed.
Yeah, that scared my husband to death.
Yeah, I was concerned. I had to go to the local urgent care and then kind of figured it out. Since I had no other symptomology, I was pretty safe there. Now, there are a few varieties of beets. Most commonly, we know them as red beets or golden beets, but there are some varieties that can be white and even with a ring, like pink rings on the inside. So there are different varieties out there. I like both the red and the gold. Do you have a favorite? Gold or red beets, any of you?
I usually only find red. I don't know if I've ever tried like a gold one.
Yeah, gold beets are like too. They're a little more subtle in flavor than the red ones, I find, but super yummy too. And I just love color, man. I want as much color on my plate as possible. So if I've got options, I'm gonna take them. So I'm just catching up here since my beets are finally cooked. I'm peeling them, chopping them. My water for my beans is slowly starting to boil. Very soon we'll be ready to serve and eat.
How small are you cutting them?
Into eighths.
Real
Depends how
tiny.
big. Depends how big. I've got some monster beets that I picked up in the grocery store, so I might be cutting them a little bit smaller, but into medium, small size chunks. It's a salad, so it's gonna be kind of the meat of your beet salad, right? You have the shaved fennel that you'll toss it with, and the vinaigrette, and then garnishing with your toasted walnuts and a few sprigs of fresh mint leaf will be the salad. So feel free to start assembling those things if you're ready to do so while I continue to peel my beets here.
Hey, Chris,
That smells nice.
some of the lip stains that I bought from Sephora have beets in it.
Oh, yeah? I
Yeah.
love it. Better than all that BS chemicals that they put in to pigment our makeup and cosmetics. All right, so I'm adding my vinaigrette and my fennel to my beets. Give that a nice toss.
Salt, pepper, and water to taste. Should drizzle with olive oil.
Salt and pepper to taste. If you're feeling extra decadent, you could add another drizzle of olive oil on top of the salad. Not too much salt, just a little bit. Salt's heating, so we don't want too much of that in the summer months. Fresh black pepper.
Mm.
I grab my walnuts. And I'm gonna chop those up nice and small. For those of you who have been cooking with me a little bit longer, what has been your favorite recipe so far in the series?
I like them all, but I think the one that my brain sticks out is the pineapple one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Spicy,
pineapple.
the spicy tofu, pineapple, and bok choy.
And then
That was
the
one of my favorites too.
lemon wild rice.
Oh, and then the wild rice came in second. Yeah, nice. Yeah, I really like the pineapple one too. You can make a delicious pineapple smoothie for breakfast, y'all. Using fresh pineapple chunks, some mint, a few soaked almonds, pinch of ginger, you're good to go. Awesome smoothie. I'll do it with basil too. I'll mix pineapple and basil together in my immersion blender. A little bit of water to thin it out if I need to. Soaked almonds, if I've got them, I'll throw a few in there. And it just makes for a really good enzymatic boost to your gut. That's the pineapple magic happening there. Yeah. So I'm just chopping up some fresh mint leaves to finish garnishing my beet salad. My beans are almost done steaming. So I'm going to take those off the heat very shortly.
And then I like that other one. I might mute
Which
this
other one?
The one with those little seeds that you make. You made it the sweet thing. Remember the masala balls? Was it masala balls? The little balls that you made with the sesame
Oh, the
seeds.
sesame balls?
Sesame balls.
Yeah.
Those
Those
sesame
are
balls
Killer too. The
with
sesame cardamom balls, sesame honey cardamom balls, I think they were.
yeah,
We made.
with
Yeah,
the
those are
with
pretty
the
good
other
too.
fruit. What was the other thing with it? I don't remember.
I don't know, we've made so much now.
Yeah, right. But that was another favorite of mine. I want to make that one again. The little balls.
Well, you have now the PDF recipes to
Yeah.
all of them.
Right.
And once you are finished, go ahead and plate your dishes with all of your creations. I like to have everyone hold their plated meals up to the camera at the end, and I get a little snapshot if I can. I'm gonna catch up with my hummus making now that I have cooked beets while you guys finish your salad prep. I'm gonna do that.
Ready. Having beans next? Yes. Under. It's worth it to hit a pulse and then.
Yeah. I'm gonna mute myself, guys, so you don't hear my food processor wailing in the background for a moment. I'm catching up to you.
Here's my hummus, guys. Finally.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Eating?
And here we go. Warm beet and fennel salad, green beans. We've got our beet hummus and our rye crackers to dip
Nice.
in. So a nice light summer cooling,
Delicious.
delicious. Kristen says, yes.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
Meat is still cooking, so I won't have the salad ready, but
That's all right. You know where you're going with it.
I do. I'm really excited about the hummus.
I got the what do we call it?
Oh, that looks nice, Ada. The
salad
salad.
I got.
Yeah.
Now the hummus and that I'll make later because
Absolutely.
I didn't have enough time to cook for the hummus.
To get
so
it,
It wasn't
Yeah,
ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
didn't
no
buy it
worries.
pre-
That's
I
why
didn't
we've
buy it
got
pre-cooked.
replays. That's why you get the recipes
Yeah.
in full form tomorrow when I send them out in PDF. So you
Mhm.
can get all of your recipes and put them in a nice little file in your kitchen
Right.
at your what's cooking good
Mhm.
looking. We will have another session next Wednesday. I'm narrowing down what I will select for next week. So you'll get that information in the coming days. Usually I
Okay.
send that out by the end of Friday. So you have the weekend to do your shopping and
Mhm.
preparation. So. All right.
All right. You want to see mine?
Thank you.
Yeah, I want to
Oh,
see
yeah,
yours.
let's see
Hold it
yours.
up. Yeah, nice. Excellent. Excellent. I love it. Enjoy. Eat slowly, eat mindfully. Yeah,
Mhm.
and be well.
Thank you so
See you
much.
next week.
So great. Thank
right.
you.
Bye, ladies.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Bye.